What's up guys, Jenna here and back again for a midweek video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my NES collection, which is minimal compared to some of the collections in here, like my Super Nintendo collection, my PS2, PS1 especially, and PS4. But I've picked out 5 prominent games. I'm going to show you guys some B-roll now of my minimal NES collection, and it's minimal because I will only buy what I know I'm going to play rather than have those horrible shelf fillers. I hate that phrase, but it is a phrase that we use as collectors, shelf fillers. So we're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to come back, and I've picked out 5 games that I feel are, I guess, my most prominent in my collection. So let's go. Goes without saying then that Super Mario Bros. 3 has to be a staple in any NES collection. This really revolutionized the Super Mario Bros. Series back in the day for its top-down map, or world rather, overview. 8 worlds, of course, and that has reigned true in the proceeding games. You know, new Mario Brothers on the Wii U, all with the top-down stuff, and it just felt great. It looked absolutely stunning. Of course, we had the introduction of the Tanuki suit, which gave Mario the ability to kind of, I'll say like fly. You can if you get your speed up perfectly, but other than that, you're just jumping and fluttering and gliding through. And in fact, the Tanuki suit made an appearance on the main box art, which is super cool. The Tanuki suit, I think, is very underrated in the Mario series as a whole. But if you haven't played this, I don't really know what to say. I'm pretty sure most people watching this video would have played this. And of course, we got a little remaster when All Stars came out on the Super Nintendo. That was actually one of my first Super Nintendo games I owned for me, All Stars. So it's a great game, and it's aged very, very well. It's aged fantastically. I think there's lots of variety within the levels. The desert is my favourite world, but let me know some of your kind of memories, I guess, at playing Super Mario Bros. 3. Smack a comment below and tell me what those memories are. Moving on, now this puppy, California Games. I've got a manual here, I've got California Games here. For those of you that are new to my channel, this was the first NES game I ever played, and it was with my auntie and her friend, I think in the year, would I have been 5? May have been Christmas 87 or 88, it may have been 88, one of the two. And Shane knew that he had this, and he unwrapped it. His mum and dad were out, he unwrapped it, we popped this in his NES, and we played it and then re-wrapped it. Absolutely wicked memory, and I was blown away because I'd come from the ZX Spectrum. So you can imagine the kind of the blacks, the whites, the really kind of basic colour palettes, crappy 8-bit, you know, 2 frames kind of per minute pretty much, to this was like smooth as butter. This was really serious next-gen stuff. And then, of course, you know, I had a ton of fun with the 6 different events. I love the BMX, I love the skateboarding, but I'm crap at the half pipe. I would love to know if anybody is good. The half pipe challenge on California Games. Fantastic game. Tried to dip its foot in with some sequels, but didn't quite live up to the mark of this first release of California Games, which is a shame, because I think if it was done right, this would have been a fantastic, absolutely phenomenal series, but unfortunately it ended at the Super Nintendo. So they're my first 2. We got some box games now. Let's take a look. So, picked up. This ain't no pickups video. We got some Super Mario Bros. 2. Now this is a little spin-off of the Super Mario Brothers series with the, you can play as 4 or 5 different characters, and each of the different character has a superpower that is unique. For example, Princess Peach, with the fact that her dress is pretty effing big, she can float, and you get a little bit more thinking time in between going from A to B because you can just kind of float your way down and change your minds. And she was my favourite character to play on Super Mario Brothers 2. I like Toad as well, but I remember playing this and being like, is it meant to look like this? I wasn't sure. My brain couldn't conceptualize back in the day why this was so different, but I think it really does work. I love like the secret doors you can get. I love that boss where you had to kind of time your jump, land on the egg, pick the egg up, then lob it back. I found that like really satisfying. I just love the memories I have from this. Predominantly played for me on All Stars, but when I discovered it on All Stars, I kind of dumped it and went back to the NES version. So for me, it's a bit of a tricky one because I didn't play this as a kid. It was something I kind of went back to as I was growing up, and I've been with it ever since. So Super Mario Brothers 2, a nice release, a nice surprise to the Super Mario Brothers series, and one I would highly recommend. This is a fun one. Also fantastic on the arcade. It's battered, yeah, I know, but it's Kung Fu. It looks like it has literally been kicked to death. 5 ridiculously difficult levels of side-scrolling beat-em-up action. You kind of like, you don't walk, you kind of just like shimmy across the floor, it seems. Aged terribly. Kicking snakes, bad guys, you name it. It's solid. It is absolutely solid. Played with my cousin Adrian back in the day. We had a ton of fun, and yes, we beat it. Can I beat it as an adult now? No. Absolutely, unequivocally, no. Can't beat it on the NES, and I cannot beat it in the arcade. But it's still a really good game, and it's one of those really iconic games. You know, when you see this, that you can kind of see yourself going from left to right and then right to left as you kind of go up. It's awesome. It really is awesome. What have been some of your most prominent memories, and can you still beat it today? I just can't believe how difficult some retro games are. It's insane. That is definitely one of them. So finally then, we have a little bit of Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello and Michelangelo. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and this is the arcade port. Now, before obviously I discovered Turtles in Time, this was one of my favourite Turtles game. And again, played with my cousin Adrian to begin with. He tended to get all the games, whereas I didn't. I had a great time playing this 2-player. This is probably my favourite 2-player game on the NES. We played the hell out of it, and it's quite tricky in parts even today. Like when I was a kid, I found it difficult with that huge cannonball coming down the stairs, like just to kind of time that right, because the screen moves as the character does. So, you've really got to kind of rely on the screen moving, and sometimes I'd get caught and it was so frustrating, but I loved it. I went back to it all the time. Again, this is a game that I find today so difficult. It is so difficult. I don't know why. I think we literally have to kind of devolve our play style. I'm so spoilt with analogs and L1, R1 and all that good stuff that you pick up a basic NES controller and you're just like, oh, okay then, fair enough. And then obviously capitalising on this, Turtles in Time came out on the Super Nintendo, and I just love playing that. I still love it today. Me and my brother completed it loads of times as wee children. But this is great. Let me know if you've played it. The other Turtles game, the top-down one, is good, but it's solid. So there we go. They're my prominent 5. You've seen my entire collection. I'm sorry it's not as huge as the other collections, but let's conclude. So, NES, 8-bit goodness. There we go. If you've got any recommendations, of course, please slam a comment, but be mindful that the games that I feel like I must play them. I don't want any kind of really expensive games, and I don't want the kind of cheap ass games. Maybe games, if you know me, you'll know my tastes. I've given you a nice foundation of the kinds of NES games that caught my eye as an adult and as a kid, so smash a comment. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and smash that subscribe button, and I will be back on Friday to talk about my top 5 horror games of all time. Stay tuned, have a good one. My name is Gemma, take care, see you soon.